This is the Jay Mac News Attack.
Today's news attack, we're going to break down the last of the October surprises that came out in the last 24 hours. Much ado about something or much ado about nothing. I know we're not done, but you can't call them October surprises anymore because it's November, right? So let's do this. My 3 takeaways. These are the 3 October surprises that you're hearing about right now. Let's dive into them.
Takeaway number 3.
The first screaming banner headline is about Donald Trump's legally dubious maneuver to avoid paying income taxes.
A report in the Times saying that Trump used a little-known provision in the tax code to avoid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Now, it was all legal at the time, at least it appears so.
You hear that? All
it's
legal.
unclear whether the IRS accepted or rejected that maneuver. Now, this is a follow-up story to the $916 million loss that Trump used to avoid paying income taxes for nearly 2 decades. In the early 1990s, remember, Trump's failed casino empire left him with a lot.
So what is the screaming banner headline here? Donald Trump used a legal tax maneuver to avoid paying income tax. Those of you who think that I am anti-Trump all the time seem to forget that when the news came out that he had deducted $1 billion in losses, I came to his defense. And I will do it again here. No American should be scrutinized for using the tax code to their advantage. Because we all do it. We're encouraged to do it. This is a non-story. It is a non-headline designed to make a man look guilty of something when all he was doing is taking advantage of the tax code. This law was changed, by the way, in 2004. So if he had done it after that, different story. But that is not the headline that you're seeing or hearing. Donald Trump had the nerve, the audacity to use the tax code to his advantage. How dare he? That's un-American. Stop it. That is 100% American. That's what we're trained and conditioned to do.
Number 2.
All right, the number 2 October surprise that dropped about Donald Trump. You may have seen this headline. Donald Trump's connections to Russia through some server that somehow has ties to a bank in Russia. What is this all about?
What it did find, the FBI did, is a relationship electronically between some computers in the Trump organization and Alpha Bank, which is a well-known, heavily capitalized, and oligarch-friendly bank in Russia.
Oligarch-friendly.
The FBI concluded that those could be either marketing or spam emails back and forth. They didn't really find anything that would rise to the level of direct either business or other kind of connections between the Trump world and Russia.
So what is the next October surprise? If you read past the headlines, the FBI looked into something about a connection with Russia, found nothing, moved on. October surprise number 2, completely defunct, but there is something in here that sticks out to me. This is from the New York Times. For much of the summer, the FBI pursued a widening investigation into a Russian role in the American presidential campaign. Agents scrutinized advisors close to Donald J. Trump, looked for financial connections with Russian figures, searched for those involved in the hacking of computers of Democrats, and even chased a lead, which they ultimately came to doubt, about a possible secret channel of email communication from the Trump organization to a Russian bank. Law officials say that none of the investigations so far have found any conclusive evidence to directly link Mr. Trump and to the Russian government. So, the headline, bogus, no connection to Russia. But there's a sub-issue here. Yesterday on this program, I went after James Comey for announcing that they were continuing or reopening an investigation into Hillary Clinton. People texted this program and called the comment line and said, the American people have a right to know. Did you know the FBI was investigating Donald Trump? Did you know that they were looking at this possible secret channel of email communication? No, you didn't know. In fact, James Comey was asked if there were any investigations when he was in front of Congress. He refused to comment. He said, no, I can't comment on that. So on the one hand, a rush on the part of James Comey to announce to the American people that they're reopening the Hillary Clinton investigation. Silence on the other side. I'm trying to figure that one out.
And J-Mac News Attack. Takeaway number one.
And my biggest takeaway, can we be clear here? Investigations should not hamper or impede elections, and elections should not hamper or impede investigations. Everything that is not supposed to be happening is happening, as we learn that the FBI has accelerated its timeline for reviewing emails potentially linked to Hillary Clinton. So what do we learn? The election is dictating the investigation. What did we learn from James Comey as to why he told everybody that they were doing this? Because the American people had to know. Is there any part of this investigation that has to do with legitimate investigative techniques and procedures? It's all tainted by the election. All of it. And it makes zero sense to me.
The J-Mac News Attack.